Welcome back to the rants. Now, this is the disclaimer part, so no video, no audio, no clips from the movie that's being reviewed here for Kadic are going to be used for the show. Plus, I've got a rant coming. I kind of teased that for you. And this has been one that you have been waiting for. So please leave your opinions, your comments down at the box or just drop me a line. On with the show. When it comes to Street Fighter, there are three noticeable things. One, this thing is not like the video game in any other. Trust me, there's not a Hadouken or a Vega wall climb or even a sonic boom or even a flip kick to be found in this thing. Two, the acting, directing, and writing are among the worst of any movie in any genre ever. And three, if it was not for Raw Julia saving this utter piece of crap from total debauchery in the way of Troll 2, this thing would come down to be the worst cinematic disaster ever. If it weren't for Mario Brothers, this thing would be the worst video game movie ever. Granted, Donald Souza was given a monumental task in Van Damme's major budget, and granted, this movie did make close to $100 million. Trust me, it was only a few hundred off the mark, and this thing is known as a cult classic. But don't get it twisted. This movie is crap. Big, major crap. Chung Lee doesn't even work for Interpol. In fact, she's a no-name Chinese actor that if it wasn't for her boob size, you wouldn't recognize it. At least they got Balrog's character right. All he wanted was his fight money. But here's the thing. He didn't fight in the movie, and neither did anybody else. Except for Vega. Sagat was looking like a pirated Rick Ross, always trying to get money from Bison throughout the entire movie, and God knows Dao Sim should have worked at a Quickie Mart, not in a lab with Charlie Blanca that looked like an extra from the Incredible Hulk of the 1970s. Let alone Van Damme's martial arts work was not given proper credence, and the only scene that is even remotely memorable in this piece of crap is the end. If it wasn't for the Good Morning Vietnam style announcer throughout the movie cracking pop jokes, and by the way, he's only used 3 times in the goddamn movie, this thing would be a bore. Granted, Universal spent a lot of money and got their money back, and Capcom managed to tie in an equally bad movie tie-in cross Street Fighter fighting game for both the Sega Saturn and PlayStation 1 off this piece of garbage, but the movie was utterly unredeemable. From the music that was used, from the shoddy camera work to the lack of lines, and most importantly, for a movie called Street Fighter, the lack of fighting and more vocal talking than an episode of Dragon Ball Z, this thing, quite frankly, is one of the worst movies ever made. Thank God it's only an hour and 30 minutes, or I would have wrote a suicide note that read something like this. Dear Princess Celestia, I'm about to fuck my life. Why? Because this movie sucks. It's kind of funny how I was starting out starting out the next season of Kadic Reviews with a sucky damn movie. Too bad for a start for CodeEquestria. I really wanted to start the whole new name thing off with something redeemable, but I seemingly cannot. This movie deserves all its negative praise and laughs, and quite frankly, probably somewhere Raul Julia is shaking in his spiritual grave that I even did this review. Well, you can, you can rest easy knowing that I respect your acting chops, Mr. Julia. May you rest in peace, because you were the only one that did your job. Even with cheap aerial effects and wire work, at least you got the raw bison done. And for you, it was just Tuesday. Tuesday, a deplorable 4 out of 10. Skip it, skip it, skip it. Unless, of course, you're perverse and you like to see crappy video game movies. Trust trust me, my fellow equestrians, I plan to make it up to you with my next movie review. Silent Hill Revelations. Until next time, Code Equestria, live life by the code, and remember, down, forward, low, punch. Welcome back to the Kadic Reviews, and this one has been long awaited for, and yes, this is the first official video under the new name. So I will probably say it a lot. So much so, I will say it now. CodeEquestria, Kadic Reviews. This one has been a long time coming and a long time requested. Video game movies have been such a pain in the neck for most of us. My favorite two video game movies are Silent Hill and the original Mortal Kombat. But back in 1994, Capcom had the brilliant idea at the time, because the game was kicking so much ass, to turn their famous game, Street Fighter II, into a movie, and they managed to get two pretty darn good actors to do it. Jean-Claude Van Damme and Raul Julia, which, by the way, when I say Raul Julia, it's the late. May he rest in peace. What they ended up creating, though, was one of the worst deliveries of film to celluloid. But this thing is so bad, it's almost become a cult classic. So, what the heck? I was given the challenge to review it a few months ago, and now it's finally time to put up or shut up in the 20th edition of the Kadic Reviews. Street Fighter, the movie.